Welcome to this training mission in which we will talk about the basics of navigation in the F-15E. As always, please wait for everything to load properly.
So I forgot some of the basics.
I pause the sim so that we can go through all the basic concepts. When we finish, I'll unpause and let you fly the jet. First order of business is to set up your displays. Bring up the ADI on your left MPD by pressing push button 11 to enter the menu. And then push button 1. On the right MPD, set up your HSI by pressing push button 11. Followed by push button 3. The tactical situation display is already displayed on the MPCD. Alright, now switch to the Nav Master mode. Let's start with the Tactical Situation Display, or TSD, on the MPCD. As the name implies, it's very useful for showing you your exact position on the moving map and displaying the current flight plan. Your aircraft is marked with a cross, and you will notice that there are different shapes for the steer points, which we will cover in more detail in a separate lesson. The ADI, or the Attitude Director Indicator on the left MPD, is your artificial horizon, which also duplicates some of the data shown on your HUD, like the heading scale and the command book at the top. The Horizontal Situation Indicator, or HSI, on the right MPD, is the main display used for navigation. It also allows the aircrew to switch between different steering modes, most of which are also coupled with the autopilot, a matter to be discussed in greater detail in other lessons. In this sortie, we will focus on the nav steering mode, which is selected by pressing push button 10. Just above it, you can see the nav data block, which displays your currently selected steer point, bearing and distance to it in nautical miles, as well as time to go marked with an E, or estimated time of arrival marked with A. The currently selected steer point, 1 alpha in this case, is visible on the screen provided that it is within the display range shown between PB 16 and 17. Our nav data block tells us that steer point 1A is 57 nautical miles away, so we need to increase the range by pressing PB 16. Do it now. Note that only the selected steer point is shown on the HSI, and there's no way to view a full sequence of points here, unlike on the TSD. However, it is possible to simultaneously have both the current steer point and TACAN station displayed on the screen. To turn on the TACAN, have a look at the UFC. Our TACAN is currently set to off, which is indicated by the legend next to menu button 2. Let's tune it to Caucasus by typing 44 into the scratch pad. Press 4. And 4 once again. Good, now press menu button 2. The TACAN symbol should have appeared on the HSI about your 1 o'clock. Okay, time to learn how to change the steer points. Unlike many other aircraft, there is no HOTUS button that can switch between them. Instead, you'll have to use the UFC or rely on the auto sequencing mode, which we will cover in a moment. The currently selected steer point is displayed next to menu button 10. In order to change it, simply type the number of the new steer point on the UFC. In this case, press 2. Well done. Now enter it by pushing menu button 10. Steer point number 2 is now visible on the HSI, or rather, would be visible, but the range scale is set too high and it sits on top of the TACAN symbol. Press push button 17 3 times to bring the scale down all the way to 10 nautical miles. Good. Now you should see 2 arrows on the outside of the compass rose. The one with the line in the middle is your TACAN bearing pointer. The other one, sitting on top of the 2 squares, is the nav bearing pointer. The squares are your command heading marker, which in the nav mode is aligned with the steer point, with bearing shown next to the command heading legend. In other steering modes, command heading can be moved around using push buttons 1 and 2, or by using the UFC keyboard to type the desired value. Another important feature is the automatic sequencing option. When boxed, it will cause the steer point to switch to the next one as soon as the aircraft passes over it or crosses the 39 line within 2 nautical miles of it. Let's see how it works in practice. In a moment, I'll unpause the sim. It will fly towards the TACAN station, but without selecting it as our nav source. In other words, keep the nav mode boxed. Ready? Okay, turn towards the TACAN. Disregard steering cues on the HUD and keep the TACAN bearing pointer on the lubber line on the HSI. As sequence point 2 is less than 2 miles away from the station, it should automatically change once you cross its 39 line without having to pass directly overhead. Okay, we have switched to sequence point 3. Now have a look at the TSD. You'll note that it's marked with a square and not with a circle, as was the case with previous points. That's because waypoint 4 is a target point, indicated by a triangle, which makes the waypoint immediately before it an ingress point, denoted by a square. Last thing I want to cover in this introduction is selecting target points as your current steer point. Target points are denoted by a number, followed by a dot, and this is what you have to type on the UFC keyboard. Press 4, followed by a dot, and now push menu button 10. Good. I know I said this will be the last thing, but let's have a quick look at the UFC options before we finish. You're now looking at menu 1, but the most important ones for navigation are data 1 and data 2, accessed using the, you guessed it, data button. Press it once. This is the data 1 menu, which provides you with a lot of interesting information and options. The first one is the distance and bearing to the currently selected sequence point, mirroring the information displayed in the nav block on the HUD and the HSI. Next is your estimated time of arrival, which you can easily change into estimated time en route by pressing menu button 2. Try it now. The third is the option to display true airspeed on the HUD below the indicated airspeed. Turn it on now. You can also choose to show the ground speed instead, which is probably more useful, by pushing menu button 4. Try it now. As you can see, you cannot display both the true airspeed and the ground speed at the same time. You can have either one of the two or none. Moving on, current wind speed and direction is displayed next to menu button 7. Above it, you can see the Zulu time. Moving up is your radar altitude. Pressing menu button 9 allows you to display it on the HUD. Do it now. Finally, the currently selected steer point. When you press it, you'll enter a sequence point submenu. What are you waiting for? Good. This submenu offers you detailed information about the current and any other sequence points you choose. It also allows you to add new sequence points, change existing ones, and even go deeper and open several other submenus, which we'll cover in a separate lesson. And that's it for today. We really only scratched the surface of all you need to know about navigation in this lesson, but it should be enough to get you going, especially if you have a competent Wizzo in the back seat guiding you along.
I thought I would have a way of changing the course heading line. Okay, unlike in the Hornet, I cannot use that. Alright, so I guess course lines and shit like that would be here. Oh, I think it's because I'm on, oh, there we go, heading course. Okay, I think it's because I'm in active pause. Oh well. What is this? This I have no idea what that is.
Welcome back. This training mission serves as a basic introduction to using the PAX, or Programmable Armament Control Set, in the air-to-ground mode. Please wait for everything to load properly. As you probably remember from the air-to-air introductory mission, PAX is your main tool when it comes to setting up and monitoring your weapons, and will be extensively used when planning and performing air-to-ground missions. First, let's enable the air-to-ground master mode. Note that it's not necessary for setting up or manipulating the PAX, but since this session's all about air-to-ground, let's make it a good habit. Good. Now enter the PAX, or ARMT armament page, on the left MPD. Press push button 11, followed by push button 2. We're now in the PAX main menu, where you can set up the air-to-ground weapons, edit the air-to-ground loadout, set up combat jettison, or enable training mode. We'll leave the jettison and load parts for another time and focus on the air-to-ground page, as it already is going to be a long lesson. Press push button 3 labeled AG. Okay, this is the air-to-ground display, and you, or your Wizzo, will be spending a lot of time on this page and its subpages in the future. Let's go through the main options. Push button 1 works in the same way as in the air-to-air mode and lets you switch between the high and low rate of fire for the gun. As a rule of thumb, high will be used for aerial engagements, while low should be set for strafing runs. Push button 2 lets you quickly jump in the air-to-air page, but we don't need to go there now. Push button 5 labeled Prog allows you to switch between 4 different programs that can be set up for various stations. These stations are listed in the top row of the display from left to right. Station 2 under the left wing, left conformal tank, centerline station 5, right conformal tank, and station 8 under the right wing. You can see at a glance the kind and the quantity of available weapons on each station. If nothing's loaded, pylon will be displayed, as in the case with Station 5. If the pylon is removed, then the legend will be blank. Loft, TARM, AT, and CT are parts of weapon delivery data set up in the air-to-ground delivery page, which we will visit at the end of this training. Finally, the current mode for air-to-air as well as air-to-ground, which can be either training or combat, is displayed next to push button 15. That covers the basics, so let's jump into setting up the programs. It's important to remember that these are linked to specific types of weapons. You could select all stations with the same type of bomb and set one program for all of them. Then you can switch to the next program, select only one of the stations, and set it up differently, and so on. We'll prepare 3 different programs now, starting with the 2,000-pound Mark 84s. Select Station 2 and 8 by pressing push buttons 20 and 16. Okay, both stations are now boxed, and your next step should be to select the desired delivery mode. In this case, either CDIP or Auto. The CDIP is exactly the same as CSIP for all the other aircraft, and stands for Continuously Displayed Impact Point. The other option is Auto, and it allows you to drop the bombs on the previously designated target. Select Auto by pressing push button 7. Now we have to choose the release sequence for each pickle press. One stay means that one weapon for each selected station will be dropped with every press of the pickle button. Selecting step will drop one weapon with each press, alternating between all the selected stations. Choose the first option. Finally, the fusing. The selection here will matter mostly for retarded bombs and laser-guided bombs. Anyway, for now, choose the NT or nose tail to arm all 3 arming wire units. We're set. You should see the auto delivery reticle on your HUD now, which means that the program is ready to be used. Let's quickly make another one. Press push button 5 to cycle to program 2. Now select left conformal tank by pressing push button 19. We have our snake eye bombs loaded there. These are best used when flying low and fast and in the CDIP mode, so press push button 6 to select it. Let's set them up so we expend all 6 bombs at a time. To do so, you can choose one of the 2 remaining options. Ripple single allows to drop a string of bombs for as long as the pickle button is pressed, alternating between all selected stations. Ripple multiple works in a similar way, but drops bombs simultaneously from all the selected stations, so in pairs, threes, etc. Since we have snake eyes loaded only on one station, choose ripple single by pressing push button 8. New options appear on both sides of the screen. On the left, you can select the quantity or the total number of bombs to be released. On the right side is the interval between the bombs in feet. Set the quantity to 6, pressing push button 3 5 times. Now set the interval to 110 feet by pressing push button 13 once, followed by push button 12. Good, now the fusing. For snake eyes, it does make a big difference. Choosing nose only will make them drop as normal bombs. However, if you select nose tail or tail only, it will make them deploy speed retarding fins. Do so now. Okay, now cycle the program a few times using push button 5. You'll notice that when you select program 1, it shows the selected stations, auto reticle on the HUD, and all the delivery options in the bottom line. When you move to program 2, the HUD shows the CDIP Pipper and the station with snake eyes is boxed. You can set up a maximum of 4 delivery programs in that way. Good. Now make sure you have program 2 selected and press push button 10 marked AG Delivery. You should now see additional information such as altitude, wind speed, and current time. Delivery data for the selected program is also shown. The three columns at the center of the display is the sensors data, including their readiness and priority. You can set the priority to manual or auto mode. We won't be going deeper into this topic today, just make sure that the legend in the first column and next to push button 13 says auto. The red and MRA legend are for reticle depression and minimum recovery altitude. Both can be set using the UFC. Let's have a look at one last subpage, as I know this is a lot to digest already. Press push button 1 to enter the programming page. The push buttons from 15 to 20 can be used to set the manual sensor hierarchy, but we won't be doing that today. Loft allows the aircrew to program the desired angle for loft delivery using the scratch pad. Push button 3 and 4 are used to set the long track and cross track. These are described in the manual, and I recommend you check the details there. TARM over push button 6 allows entry of time before weapons arm after release in seconds. Finally, push button 8 allows to enter the time for auto lays when using LGBs. We'll cover that in another lesson. Okay, that's enough for today. I'll unpause the mission in a moment. You have a bunch of trucks at target point 3. Go ahead and put both programs we set up to good use. Oh yeah, don't forget to set your master arm to on. Have fun!
Okay. I thought you said steer point 3. Okay, I thought it would have been the cross here, but steer point 2 is here. Steer point 2. Okay, 26 miles. 26 seconds to relative speed. Oh no, it just... Okay, so it was here. What the hell? It says master caution. Oh no. Why was I not able to drop my bombs just now? Okay, I am in program 2. Not exactly. This is my first time using CCIP. Okay, I just realized the trucks are along this line. I'm gonna have to reline up. I don't know why I'm not able to drop the bombs though. I am in air to ground mode. Master mode is armed. Okay, that's what it is. It tells me time to release, so I wasn't within the release parameters. That's why I couldn't release it. Okay. Okay, that's how it works. It still does need to tell you when to release. So I'm gonna turn around and try again. This is my first time dropping bombs. Of this mode, anyway. Where's... Oh, there's the release point. Yeah, I was wondering that too. Alright, 10 seconds to release. Jesus fuck, my release point is passing over. What the shit? I'm gonna try again. Higher like you recommended. Because the problem is that it's got the fins. I've got it set on nose tail, which should be opening up the fins to slow them down. So maybe I am too low. Oh shit. That's why. I just realized my fucking gears were down. No wonder I was going so slow. And no wonder I couldn't drop bombs. Not gonna let me drop bombs when my gears are down. I forgot the last tutorial I was doing, I was on the ground, so having my landing gear selector down would not have made a difference. There we go. Let's try this again. Now I'm somewhat lined up properly. Yeah, no. It's because I'm using physical controls. I have a full flight setup. I have a full flight sim setup. Alright, let's see. 15 seconds. 13. Yeah, that's what I thought. I passed the target point. God damn it. Well, that's why tutorials exist. But it really should have told me how high I need to be and everything. What a shit tutorial. This is one of the worst tutorials I've seen on air-to-ground bombing. This is so obviously not a Eagle Dynamics tutorial. Wags would have done a much better job teaching this. Oops, there it is.
Pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up.
Nice. Not exactly how I was hoping it would go, but whatever. Alright, whatever. I rarely ever use freefall bombs anyway. No, it's because the tutorials were created by Razbam, so that's why the tutorial sucks. But whatever, time to go do some multiplayer stuff. There's the server I was looking for. I don't know what happened to the 148th Syria server or Persian Gulf. I haven't seen it in a while. Alright, so here's the setup I usually do. GBU 38s with a couple AIM 120Cs.
Formation Delta 035 Zulu. Sunrise at 1 local time. Sunset at 2051 local time. Wind from 346 at 1.
Diver 1-1 radio check, over. Okay, I'm not the only one here.
Y'all rate. Y'all rate.
Alright, let's set up my screens. Alright, for the bottom one, the only thing I ever want is the TSD and the 2s. And let's go HSI, actually. No. And over here, I'm gonna want... Alright, so on the left, I usually have air-to-air radar with my 2s page for air-to-air, then air-to-ground radar, and the smart weapons page. And then for navigation, I'm gonna want the armaments page with the TSD. Or no, TSD is going to be at the bottom. So let's have the 2s page. That should be it. Whoops. Alright, so for air-to-air, definitely the radar and the 2s page. And then for air-to-ground, I'm going to want the smart weapons page and the air-to-ground radar. And navigation, armament. There we go. Now when I hit navigation, boom. There we go. Alright, I'm going to steer point 1 on. Diver 1-1 on SRS, radio check, over. Aw. Weird. The SRS radio is not set up, or maybe I just don't have the shortcut in this jet. Or wait, no, that should be a UI thing. Huh. Weird. Maybe they disabled the in-game radio for some reason. Oh well. Seriously? Well, I feel special that I'm the first stream you see on YouTube. Hopefully I don't make a fool of myself. I am heading to a waypoint to do a air-to-ground bombing run. Alright, let's set up my autopilot stuff. Alright, I'm gonna want altitude hold with a altitude heading of 15,000 feet. Oops. There we go. So once I hit autopilot, I'm gonna go into altitude hold. Thanks, man. Nice for calling on the radio that you were there, dumbass. He literally went behind me. I should shoot the fucker down. And flaps up. Where'd this guy go? Oh, I'm literally catching up to him. He's at 10,000 feet. Okay, that's why. He's somewhere up here. Out of afterburner, and I'm a little high. I only need to be like 16,000 feet, but since I'm already at 20 some, let's go 20,000 feet then. 20,000 feet, and boom. There we go, 20,000 feet. Alright, now let's set up my bombs. So for that, I'm gonna go air-to-ground bombs. Whoops, air-to-ground. Alright, air-to-ground bombs. Program 1 is going to be my inboard stuff. I'm going to go auto. No, not auto. That's not what I wanted. Oops, I was going a little slow, I think. Nice. Yeah, I've got a really good microphone. I've got a full Go XLR set up. Alright, so I'm gonna want direct, step, nose tail. There we go. And then program 2, I'm gonna want the outboard stations on direct, step, nose tail. Alright, now that's good to go. Let's go in air-to-ground combat mode. Alright, air-to-ground set. And let's set that to sensor of interest. And I'm in program 1, so there we go. These are the bombs I'm going to be setting. Alright, now we need to somewhat line up near waypoint 1 because the F-15 air-to-ground radar looks to your 45 degrees on each side. So as you can see here, I'm going for a high resolution map, looking out at 80 miles, and I'm going to set a map size of 10 miles over waypoint 1. Alright, now that I'm somewhat where I need to be, let's set up and slow down. Because I am at 31 miles out. There we go, there's waypoint 1. Now I'm going to set up a better resolution map of 3.3 miles. There we go. And let's look at the F10 map. Waypoint 1 still has this many targets. So I'm going to try and get this, because it looks like based on his AGMs, he's going for the northern area. So I know that this is here. And then once I get a good resolution, I'm going to freeze the map. Boom, freeze. Okay, now I go to targets. And I know from experience, this is a target right here. Transfer from radar, next station. Let's go with this bomb here. Then there's another one here. Transfer. And there's another one here. Transfer. And then for good measure, let's drop another one in the middle just to make sure I get them all. So now I've got 4 bombs set up. Now I can turn in. So as you can see here on the top, that's going to tell me where I need to line up. And then the caret on the right side is going to tell me when I'm in range. Alright, now let's look at the F10 map, because I want to make sure he's not going after them, because this motherfucker's not on comms. Okay, it looks like he's gone by. Oh no, he's turning back in. Alright, I should be good to go. And right now I am in range, but in order to make sure I have good parameters of dropping my bombs, I'm going to wait till I'm here. Considering I'm not getting lit up by the RWR. Yeah, it looks like the radar got taken out by him already. He must be using harms. Alright, now I'm good to go. Four bombs away. So now I'm gonna go away from the target area just because I do not want to get shot at by anything while I fly over. And then there we go, bomb mode. See, here are my bombs. Ooh, he's at 3,000 feet. Good thing he wasn't at 20. I would have crashed with him. Gonna fall right on top of him. Oh, there are 4 down there. I thought I only saw 3. Oh, yeah. Oh, there's still 1 left. Oh. Never mind. Here's my last one. I think it's mine. Yep. Yep. That one got it. Oh, this one completely missed. Or maybe this wasn't mine. Or maybe it was. Yep, Shack. Got all 4. I don't know if one of those were mine or his, but I'm not using laser guided bombs, so I will not be able to hit this T-72 because it's a stationary target. So now what I'm going to do is, I know there's another SAM site up here, so I'm going to try and get a new resolution map. So resolution unfreeze. I'm going to hit new. I guess new doesn't work. So boom. Alright, now I need to turn back towards the target area, get a new map. Alright, I know waypoint 1 is out there, so I'm going to slow down because I do not want to get too close. There we go. HRM is what I want. Oops, not target. Map. Alright, the waypoint is off to my right. There we go, waypoint 1. Alright, why is this giving me the same area? Okay, there we go. It had to reset. Alright, I know the new area that where the SAM sites are around here. Oh, whoops. I'm out of the gimbal area. Alright, 3 seconds. 2 seconds. Boom. Now, the target area I believe is out here. Yeah, try and get a new map. Yep, I think it's here. No, I don't think it is. Gimbal limit. Oh, yeah. Because that means my radar cannot look that way because it's literally at my 9 o'clock or 3 o'clock now. There we go. I always have a hard time here. So it's literally in the middle of the airfield, past the tree line, and on the edge of the town. No, it's on the edge. Oh yeah, it's literally at my 3 o'clock. That's why it can't pick it up on radar. It says gimbal limit. It's because it's literally below me. Alright, I'm gonna have to get some distance. Yeah, this guy gave up. He's got no more bombs. I'm gonna try and get those SA-3s, and then the T-72 I'll have to try and get with either a gun run, or I'm gonna have to... Yeah, with a gun run, I might be able to disable his tracks, and then I'll use the air-to-ground radar for the bomb. Okay, so there's a town here, and another section of town right there, and then it'll be next to it. Okay, so it is out in the open. I always thought it was right on the edge of the tree line. I used to watch Criminal Minds. I'm not sure what actor you're thinking of, but I disagree. I don't think I sound like any of them. Alright, time to turn back in. Alright. Alright. Autopilot back on. Alright. Oh, whoops. There's the target area. Okay, here it is. So the town is there. So right on the edge here. Oh, I think I see them. That's the SA-3 right here. Oh boy, that's a bad resolution. Alright, let's try and unfreeze, try and get a better signal. I think it's that right here. Oh, gimbal limit. Which character was Thomas? I don't remember. Was that the nerdy guy with the glasses? Okay, there we go. 2 seconds, 0. I need to stop moving. There we go. Freeze. Alright. Update. Target. So, I believe there's one right here. Alright, designate. Update transfer. Boom. I think that's one of them. Transfer. And then I'll go program 2 for that bomb. I think that's one here. And then last bomb. Oh no. No, I think it's only... I'm pretty sure I only saw 2. Alright, I should be good now. I'm pretty sure I saw on the map there's only two launchers left. And there we go. Bombs away. Oh, that dude. Oh yeah, the old guy that was in charge. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, I didn't know Thomas Gibson was his name. A lot of shows I don't know the actor's name. I just know it's like main dude. And there they go. Yeah, that's why I thought there was only 2 left. So that other blip that I was looking at was probably a destroyed SAM. Kaboom, and... Oh, I think I got them both with that first one. Nice. Yep, I got them both. There's only the T-72 left. Alright, so that means I'm going to try and do a gun run. So for guns, I'm not sure. Let's go back to armament. For the gun, here we go. Low rate of fire. I'm not sure how I select the gun, though. If I remember correctly... Okay, yeah. If I remember correctly, it's medium range missile, AMRAAMs, and then gun. Or I thought it was gun. Oh yeah, it is gun. Alright. Oh shit. There's waypoint 1. And if I remember correctly, yeah, that T-72 is usually driving off that little path right here. There should be a T-72 flying, or not flying, driving along that area. Oh, looks like he's also thinking the same thing. Yo, Havoc, are you going after that T-72? Looks like he is, so I'm gonna back off. Maybe he's not. No, he's not. Alright, where is that T-72? Oh, there he is. He's on the road.
Havoc 2-3 on 250. Sorry, I didn't realize my mic was off.
No worries. I'm trying to do a gun run on that T-72 so I can get him with my bombs, but I did not manage to get him. Do you have any laser guided bombs?
I don't have any laser guided, but I do have JDAMs.
Yeah, so do I, but it's a problem with a moving target, so That's why I'm trying to disable him with my gun and then drop a JDAM. But yeah, this is gonna suck.
I do have Mavericks. I've been trying to get them to work for me recently, but we'll see how that goes.
Alright, I'll leave him for you then. I'm gonna go back to Sanaki and rearm.
Copy. Sounds good. Thank you much.
Alright, yeah, there you go. I'm gonna go back to air. Alright, so he's gonna take care of that, so that fixes that problem. That's the problem of waypoint 1, is there's one moving target, so it's a pain in the butt. So yeah, let's do some air-to-air stuff. So as far as I know, there should not be any friendlies out here. Alright, I'm looking out at 80 miles. Now let's do a raster scan. Okay, circle means friendly. Circle friendly, and friendly. Okay, so these are all friends. And just to confirm, yeah, there's no red air here. I hate that Sanaki is not a waypoint. Going so slow. Alright, fast mode off. Landing lights on. Landing lights, anti-skid on, and parking brake off. Good.
Magnum.
I hope you get him. That was the last target for waypoint 1. And then back to nav.
Missed him by about 4 feet.
Are you using the IR guided Mavericks?
Laser.
Oh, okay, that's why. Yeah. Unless you get a really good point track, it's going to be hard to get them.
Yeah, I came in a little too quick, too low, and just over the top of them, but I'm extending out and I'll get them.
Sounds good. By the time I land and rearm, let me know if you are out of IR Mavericks and I'll get a laser guided bomb.
I only have one more and then 3 more JDAMs, so it'll probably be a good idea.
If you miss him with your last Maverick, let me know. So because this airfield does not have a goddamn waypoints ability, I'm gonna, because you can't go steer point 0. Yeah, 0 doesn't work. It's not like in the Hornet. So, and steer point 1 was the target area, so unless it's 1, because right now I'm selected 2. No, steer point 1 was back there. Yeah. Right now I'm at B for base, but yeah. Right now it should be at 09. Oh yeah, there it is. Alright, so let's see. Where's I thought radar altitude was an option, but I guess not. Alright, I'm supposed to be at 1,600 feet, not 300 knots. Oh, that guy just took off. Jesus fuck, thank God I did not overfly him. This motherfucker really needs to be on comms. Alright, this seems to be about 1,600 feet. Because this is MSL, not AGL. And I'm supposed to be at 300 knots. No, close enough. Oh yeah, I am pretty much at 300 knots. Alright, 250 knots. Gear down, flaps down. And I'm supposed to be at about 20, between 20 and 22 angles of attack. But I'm going too slow right now. There we go, I should be at around 200 knots. I'm too low. Alright, now I'm at 20 angle of attack. But I'm climbing, so I'm going a little fast. Yeah, I'm way too far. I really hate other planes than the F-18 where it's literally put the velocity vector in the E bracket and then just control everything with throttle. It's not like that with this plane. Alright, screw it. Let's start the turn. Right, there we go. 20... Angle of attack, 20 degrees. 21. A little too much angle of attack. I need to give it a little more throttle. There we go, 21 degrees. I need more speed to bring up the throttle, or the velocity vector. There we go, 18 degrees. I should be at 20 to 22. There we go, I'm at 19, 20. Right. Now I should be at almost idle. But I should be at about a 3-degree glide slope because I'm coming in way too steep. There There we go. This looks good.
Low altitude. Low altitude.
Alright. Air brake out. Flaring. Ooh, that was a little rough. Alright, my nose should be at about 10 to 12 degrees. Oh geez. I better... Nope. I had way too much weight. No, this is gonna be bad. Oh, I'm dead. Fuck's sakes. Alright, that sucked. I'm really bad at landing this plane. Alright, now I know why my buddy usually dumps fuel before landing, because if you are anything overweight, you're fucked. Looks like they got it. Yeah, okay, well in that case, I think I will go back up with the same plane.
Sanaki Kolki Airport. Information Echo 0438 Zulu. Sunrise
Y'all
at
rate.
0541
Y'all rate.
local time. Sunset at 2051 local time. Wind from 346 at 1 knots, gusting. Visibility 10 statute miles. Scattered clouds. Cloud base 5,600. Ceiling 6,200 feet. Temperature 17 degrees Celsius.
All right. I don't know why my SRS doesn't automatically switch to the Strike Eagle. It works for the Hornet, but not the Eagle. Yo, I see you guys finally got the T-72. Alrighty. Okay, IFF. There we go, that should be good. Alright. Time to set up my screens. Alright, TSD and 2 is... And now for these two, I'm gonna want air to air, air to ground, and let's go armament page. And then 2's T-pod and smart weapons. There we go. What the hell? I blew right past 20,000 feet. Alright, I want a high resolution map. There we go, 80,000 feet or 80 miles out. I need to be at about 20,000 feet or else I'm not going to get a really good resolution map. There we go. Autopilot. Oh no, that's right. I need to go to waypoint 2. To steer point. Oh shit, it's in the dead zone. I mean, I need to turn. There we go. There we go, waypoint 2. Alright, 4.7 mile map. There we go. 3.3 miles. Alright, let's store this map and freeze. Alright, so I know those SAs. Okay, no, it's the HQ7s that I want to take out. So I know they're there. So I'm gonna go one even higher. Oh shit. I'm within the gimbal limit. Range limit. Oh no. It's not the gimbal limit, it's my range. What is my range? Oh, I'm 40 miles out still. Yeah, you need to be within 40 miles in order to get this much resolution. There we go. There we go. And I want better resolution right here. Oh yeah, that's pretty good. All right. There we go. Now I need to go... Whoops. I thought I was frozen, guess not. Right, target. That looks like a blip there. Transfer. Next bomb. Alright, that's all 6 bombs. Now for program 2. Wingtip bombs. Yeah, that looks like a ZSU right there. And that looks like the C-RAM up here. Alright. Program 1 and then program 2. Turn in. Yeah, waypoint 2 right there. Alright, I love this fucking... The hen? The hen is working really good, Don. I'm really getting the hang of the high resolution map. Alright, autopilot. Let's go full afterburner. Because I want to get in range ASAP. Damn, that was loud. Alright, I don't know why I keep hearing static. My squelch must be on one of those radios. Miles out. Okay, I am in range. I could fire right now, but nothing's locking me up. Alright, let's... Program 2, bombs away and bombs away. All 8 missiles out. Let's go autopilot. Nice. That is quite the lob. At 24,000 feet, it's gonna take a while. Look at all these bombs incoming. All heading for this area. What is that static? Oh, the Sea-Wiz is shooting. Okay, these must be the last 2. Yeah, it looks like I'm hitting a few things down there. Oh, I did get most of them. Oh, I got the Sea-Wiz. Nice. Alright, that must be the last bombs here on this thing. No, it's going way over. I don't know what the fuck I was targeting out here. Okay, it must have been in case I missed. Wait, where are you going? Alright, well, that's not too bad. I got all but one. And I got the Sea-Wiz, so it won't be able to shoot down my missiles. Alright, cool. Let's head back to base and rearm. Alright, let's figure out why my radios are all fritzy. Let's do a mini raster scan. Okay, that's giving me a circle, so that's friendly. That's circle, 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 all friends. Yeah, these are all friendlies. Oh, right, I don't need to go all the way back there. We captured waypoint 1. Yeah, it's literally right here. Wait. Yeah, there we go. Let's see. Runway 30. I wish it would show a course line across like it does in the Hornet. Okay, there's my course line. Alright, why is my radio? Oh, there we go. Yeah, so right now what I'm trying to do is figure out what's wrong with my radios. I'm not sure why. Oops, I'm way too high. I also don't know how to set up radar altitude. I only have barometric. I know there's a button for it, but I don't know what it is. Oops. Oh, this fucking Hornet. I mean Viper. He's heading for me. Tsukimi traffic, Dever 11 in the break. Overhead for runway 30. There we go. Gears down, flaps down. Alright, I'm on the downwind. Although I'm really low. I should be at about 1,600 feet. Okay, this fucker's doing a straight in, that's good. It'll give me time to do my downwind. Or my base leg, I should say. Alright, I should be at 1,600 feet, not 13. Okay, there we go. My air brake was still out. No wonder. Alright, there we go. Alright, I should be at about a 20-degree glide slope, or AOA, which would be right about here. Alright, time to do my downwind. Or base leg, I should say. Sakimi traffic, Denver 11 on base leg for runway 30. Oh, I should be descending right now. There we go. Where the hell is the runway? Oh, there. Alright, I'm at 20 degrees, or 20 AOA. Tsukimi traffic, Denver 11 on short final for runway 30. Oops. I'm losing too much speed. Oh shit, I forgot to dump fuel. Oh, I'm gonna be coming in heavy. Alright, 20 degrees AOA. 21.
Low altitude, 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 low altitude.
No shit, Sherlock, I'm landing. Oh shit. Ooh. I should be at about 12 degrees. On the flare, I'm at 11 right now. There's that Viper. Thank God he was out of the way. Alright, I need to brake. Thank God this is a long airfield. I actually made it. Oh my god. 50 knots. Ground speed 45 knots. There we go. Sweet. 25 knots. I should be good to turn. Oh my god, I can't believe I made it. I'm really not good at landing this plane. You're here to study your enemy. Why is that? Do you usually fly the Sukhois? Oh, I know what you mean. Yeah, the F-15 tends to be very used in PvE servers. Whatever. I'll stay here. Air brake on. Or brake on. Where's my air flaps? Okay, good. Flaps are at medium. What is that? Low altitude. Yeah, no shit. Yeah, I should really turn low altitude off when I'm landing. Alright, now what is wrong with my radios? I forgot how to turn off the radios. Okay, there we go. Squelch, squelch. Okay. Huh. I don't know why squelch is not. Okay, there we go. I'm not hearing the static anymore. Good. Alright, my next cluster of targets is going to be these KS-19s. So, looking at that, I should be looking at the town and then on the edge here. Alright, so let's rearm. Wow, I still have this much fuel. Alright, well, I'm going to keep that much fuel. He just took off. Alright, same setup, same loadout.
Request refueling. Request rearming.
Copy.
Oh my god, it's already 10 p.m. Alright, I'm going to do one more bombing run and then I'm going to take off. I gotta work in the morning.
Refueling complete.
Yeah, where is fuel? Oh, fuel dump. I need to set that on a switch. Fuel dump on off.
Rearming complete.
Oh, I do have that key bound to something. Oh no, wait, that's the F-18. Fuel dump, norm, and dump. Yeah, set that on the throttle here. Let's set that up here. Oh, that's NCTR. Oh yeah, NCTR is not enabled in this plane. Or in this build, I should say. Alright, fuel dump. That's nothing. Nothing, and nothing. I got so many switches that do nothing now. Okay, well then I guess I could do these. I could set these switches to fuel, but then again, I'm never going to do air-to-air refueling, so no point. Am I rearmed yet? Oh yeah, I am. Alright. Parking brake off. Let's do this. Tower 1-1 radio check over. where's my ground speed? Here we go. Ground speed. Yoink. Oh, it actually does go all the way down that. In the Hornet, it doesn't show you any lower than 50 knots. Oh yeah, I should set my trim. Why am I not getting any warnings?
Yaw rate. Yaw rate.
There we go. Alright. Steer point 2 is still set. He's already heading back. If this motherfucker lands while I'm taking off, I'm gonna fucking kill him. This motherfucker needs to pay attention and look at the F10 map when he's landing. Alright, I'm gonna cut through here. I wanna fucking go. Okay, he's not heading this way. Close enough. Oh fuck, here he comes. I think. Why is my gear not going up? Okay, I was going too fast. Oh, my rear wheels are damaged. Well, that sucks. Fuck. Oh, shit. Yeah, my wheels are damaged. Alright, fuck this shit. I'm gonna call it a night. I'll be back tomorrow, boys, if you want to watch. Right. Nice of having you guys over, and thanks for the new subs. I will see you guys tomorrow.